So there is a new Final Destination on the way, and I'm contemplating on seeing it. For one, it's gonna be a reboot, meaning no connections to the previous movies. The Final Destination will remain intact as being the final movie. Story chronologically wise, it's supposed to be called Final Destination Bloodlines. Can someone come up with a new subtitle? I've seen that word, Bloodlines, in movies and TV shows too many times. If I was writing it, it would be connected to the previous movies because it would be called Final Destination 6 Bloodlines. That way you keep the number in there. On top of that, all the movies are basically standalone sequels, except for the first two. Those two are heavily connected. Now, the writers for this film say that this movie is going to deviate from the usual formula of Final Destination, but have said it will maintain its premise. The story is apparently going to start in the 1960s, where the main character survives death, and years later, death is coming after the character's daughter and granddaughter. I like that. A whole lineage that wasn't supposed to be born. The story is what gets me to go see the movie, but it being a reboot is why I don't want to go see the movie. But I'll see what happens in due time when the official release date comes out along with the trailer. Now, moving on to I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I want to say, I'm very disappointed that I Know What You Did Last Summer is another horror classic movie franchise erasing continuity. Apparently, this film is gonna ignore all the sequels, pick up after the first one, and be called I Know What You Did Last Summer 2. That better not be the actual title, I swear. These writers are lazy and don't even want to try to make a good story that picks up after the sequels. The TV show on Amazon, I Know What You Did Last Summer, referenced the movies. Well, based on my research, because I didn't watch it. But even they didn't ignore the canon. They were even planning to bring on the movie characters for season 2 before it got cancelled. They decided to probably ignore the canon with the ending to the second movie and Ben becoming supernatural in the third movie. Though, like I said, a good writer could have figured it out. I've seen lots of people disappointed Carla no longer exists. Speaking of which, the timeline. This new movie is a alternate timeline, while the others are the original timeline, and I'd rather live in that timeline despite the supernatural existing. But with that being said, get your fingers up and say it with me. Bye.